Everybody, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about which apartment I finally picked. So if you've seen my past 3 videos, I showed you 3 different apartments that I was touring and some context around everything. So I had to make a very quick decision. All of this actually happened back in the summer, in July, and I had toured other types of homes. If you saw those videos, I toured a single family home to rent, and then I toured a townhome to rent. Neither one of those worked out, and I couldn't find any other type of non-traditional big corporation type homes to look at. So I ended up going the more traditional route and looking at like typical apartments. But I didn't have a lot of time to actually get something. I was traveling for summer. I had work trips, family vacations, friend vacations, all around the same time. So I really only had, when it came down to it, I had like 1 weekend to look at things before I had to give my old place a notice that I was gonna move out. So didn't have a lot of time, and I looked at 3 apartments. Okay, so let's get down to it. First, option 1. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one out of the way. I did not pick option 1. If you remember, this was one that had like a weird floor plan. Like the second bedroom, one of the walls was like, it wasn't a square, it was like a rectangle-ish shape, and it was just awkward. For that room, I would have to make it work as a guest bedroom and a home office. And because of the weird shape, it cut down on like the square footage in that room. So even though I liked the apartment itself, and it had like huge closets, if you remember, but I ended up not going with that one just because of that odd space, which is a shame because this was the only apartment that had like a promotion going on. I think the renting market is still kind of crazy, but it was especially crazy in the summertime when I was looking, and all the places, like the prices were going up, but this was the one place that offered 2 months free if I signed up for a 12-month lease. And this apartment, it was around $1,900, but with the 2 months free, that would have cut down the price by like $3,800 off of the year, if I did that math right in my head. So it is unfortunate that I didn't like that one, but I didn't want to get it, even though it would be the cheapest kind of, if I didn't actually like it, if that makes sense. So I did not go with option number 1. And I should mention, you may notice that I'm in a different space today. This is not the apartment that I picked. I'm actually traveling right now. I'm visiting a friend, so that I'm at their place, and this is the only time I had to film the video. But anyway, back to options 2 and 3. So with options 2 and 3, this was like a much harder decision. I went back and forth and back and forth. I was on vacation with my family when I had to make the decision, and ask any of them, I probably bored them and got on their nerves during the trip because I was just like, I don't know, because I can be so indecisive. And I was like, but option 2, it has this, but then option 3 has this. I just kept going back and forth. So some reminders. Let's walk through everything option 2 had to offer. I have my notes here that I'm looking at. So option 2, that was a corner unit that had all of this natural light. And it was a corner unit where the corner space was where the living room area was. So it basically had like 2 walls of windows that just let in all this light. And the unit that I would get, it would be south facing. So if you don't know, that has the best light. So that was a huge perk for that apartment. Price-wise, it was around $1,820 a month. That's $1,820 a month for rent, which is crazy. But some other good things about it, compared to other places, it has low amenity fees. This one had my favorite layout and style for a kitchen. It had white cabinets and an island. It also had a kitchen window above the sink, which I just think is so cute and like quaint. I don't know, it makes it feel like more homey compared to like other type of apartments where there's no windows around the kitchen. Some other things. If you remember, that's the one that has the huge shower with double shower heads. I don't know who needs that in an apartment, but it's there. That's also the one that was like bougie and had the marble window sills. Again, who needs that? It had a smart lock, which my previous apartment did not. So instead of a key, there's just like a key fob that I stick by the door and then it unlocks and I can go in that way. Let's see, some other things. It had an older washer and dryer, not like a terrible washer and dryer, just not the one that has like the window on the front so you can see the clothes being washed. I don't know why that's so cool to me, but it is, and I've always wanted that. That's like an adult wish that I want. Let's see, location wise, there's not much near it. My old apartment had a much better location. Like I was close to a lot of restaurants and shops, a movie theater. This one is not like that, or at least it's not as close. It's more like a 10-minute drive before I can do things like that. But it is really close to a local park that has all these trails. So it has like miles of walking trails. So whenever I get fit the way I want to be fit, I have plenty of opportunities to go on walks or runs. Remember, that was a year goal, or this year it was a goal for me to do a 5K. Plenty of opportunities to train for that. I'm filming this in November, still haven't started that 5K training, but you know, that's not what this video is about. Anyway, let's see. Back to price. So I said it was $18.20 a month, right? However, this is a con because the only units that were available for me to move in, I would have to move in July. I'd have to sign the lease in July. However, my old lease was not up until the middle of September, which means in order to get this, I would have to pay throughout the end of July, all of September, and like half of, misspoke. Let me start over. I'd have to pay out the end of July, all of August, and throughout the first half of September. So I still have to pay all of that for the new place, for option 2, while still paying rent for the old place throughout the end of September. So that's a lot of money, basically, which is a con. It's definitely a con. But those are everything involving option number 2. And now let's weigh out option number 3. Price-wise, on a monthly basis, option 3 is the most expensive at $1,960 a month. Also a refresher, I'm only looking at 2 bedrooms. This one is also an end unit, although the layout is different. So in this one, the end unit section is only like the master bedroom. So the master bedroom has like 2 walls of light coming in, versus the other one had the 2 walls of light coming into the living room area. This one has a smaller living room area, but the rooms are a lot bigger and the closets are bigger, which is a plus. This one does not have that insane shower like option 2 does, but in option 3, in the primary bedroom or bathroom, it has 2 windows. If you've seen my other like house hunting videos, you know that is something that I have always wanted because I've never had that anywhere I lived previously, was windows in the bathroom. I don't know why, that just sounds like scenic to me and very picturesque to be able to like take a shower in natural light versus having to turn on like light bulbs. I don't know why, but in my mind it just sounds like this really nice experience. So that's a major plus in my opinion. This one also has better kitchen appliances. Like it has a much better stove compared to option number 2. And also this one has, for the laundry, it has the washer and dryer with the little windows in the front. Again, I don't really know why that's so important to me, but just visually, like aesthetically, I like it better than like more traditional washer and dryers. I don't know why. Finishes wise, I do like option 3 better. It had matte black hardware, had matte black door handles, handles on the drawers. I think the sink faucet was like matte black. I may be wrong about that, but the majority of the fixtures were matte black, which is a favorite of mine. I would have that in my house one day. Whenever I get a house, I want matte black. And then another thing that doesn't sound important, but is actually a major plus, soft drawer or soft close drawers. It makes a difference. Like all the handles or all the drawers in the kitchen and in the bathrooms, everything was soft close. Even the toilet seats or the toilet lid was soft close. That makes a difference. It's really the small things. That one also had like the built-in linen closets in the bathroom that looked really nice. This option 2 didn't have that. Not the same style anyway. This one also had a smart lock the way that option 2 had, but this one also had a smart thermostat. Option 2 does not have that. And in comparison to option 2, option 3 has a much better location. There's lots of restaurants nearby. Some of them are even within walking distance. Would I walk to them? I don't know, but driving would take like 1 minute, if that. Like, it was really close to a bunch of restaurants. Shopping, not so much, but a lot of food options. And with option 3, the unit that I was looking at, it would be available 3 days before my lease ended at the old place. 3 days is a very close window, but money-wise, that's definitely better than like a whole month and a half that I had with option 2. So again, 3 days isn't a lot of time to completely move out and clean everything, but I wouldn't have to be paying rent at 2 different places at the same time. So, which one do you think I picked? Option 2 or option 3? And the winner is option 2. Okay, so let me explain why. Because if you're like, Simone, why? Like, this was so much more money. You're right. Option 2 is technically the most expensive up front. So in order to actually get option 2, I don't even like saying it out loud because it's a lot of money. I basically had to write a check for like more than $2,000 in order to get the apartment. I had to pay the last part of July and all of August all at the same time to secure the new apartment. So I had to write a check for like more than $2,000. It was really painful doing that because I had to pay the end of July and all of August. I also had to pay the security deposit. So yeah, it was a very big check. But let me explain the like mental gymnastics that I did to justify getting option 2 over option 3. So option 3 was more expensive. Option 3 was $1,960. Option 2 was $1,820. So option 3 was $140 a month more expensive than option 2. So that over a year's time, that would have been, more than a year. I forgot about this because I didn't do a 12-month lease. I did a 15-month lease. So based off of a 12-month lease, that's an extra $1,680 that I would have paid towards option 3. So instead, I just kind of paid that difference up front and put that directly towards option 2. So yes, it is a lot of money, but it's technically money that I would have paid anyway, just in like monthly payments for option 3, and I did it up front with option 2 instead. Luckily, I was in a place where I had that money and I didn't have to take anything out of like my savings for the house or savings for emergencies. It just kind of hit at a good timing where I could pay for that all at once. Even though saying it out loud does make me feel very like icky that I paid that amount of money, but it's gone now, so what can I do? Another reason why I went with option 2 is because I'm thinking about the future, and option 2 was 1820, but that's only for the first year, right? And option 3 was 1960, but again, that's only for the first year, or that first lease that I signed. What happens next year when I have to renew? Now we're hoping and praying that something will happen in this housing market and I'll be able to buy next year and this could be my last year renting. But I've had that plan before, and God had different plans than the plans that I made. So what if God is like, nah, you're gonna have to stay renting for another year? If I have to renew that lease, option 3 was already 1960, and that's base rent. That's not any of the amenities. So like, who knows how much it would be next year? I'm sure that it would be over $2,000 a month. Probably more than that. Probably like well over the $2,000 a month. What if it's like $2,100 a month or something? And I'm just not comfortable with that. I'm just not. And the place that I picked, option 2, we're already at 1820, and that's base rent as well. But I'm hoping that if I have to renew, it would still be less than $2,000. Dear God, please let it still be less than $2,000. But yeah, so basically I just feel like next year, if I'm still renting, option 3 would just be like too expensive. And on top of that, I really like option 2. Like, I'm happy with it. I love the layout. It's so bright in there, which was such an issue in the last apartment, because the last apartment was not bright. It felt like a cave all the time, especially like wintertime. There's so much less daylight in the wintertime. Like, it'd just be dark in there like all the time. And yes, it's a lot of money. However, in my area, even 1-bedrooms are also a lot of money. Like, 1-bedrooms can still be like $1,600. So to me, it was like, it's a lot of money, but you're gaining like so much compared to the other place. And nothing's perfect, and the new place does have like certain issues with it, but it still solves all of the problems that I had in my last apartment. So now I have tons of natural light in the living room. It's like 2 walls that connect. So it's like 7 windows. Yeah, 7 windows in the living room. It's crazy. So much more space with that second bedroom. So much more closet space and storage space. I got the kitchen that I want, the style and the colors that I want, the color of the floors. I like that lighter brown floor color for floors. Even little things like with the refrigerator, the water dispenser is on the outside versus the inside. I understand that's a first world problem, but it was getting quite annoying in the last place for the last 3 years. That's no longer an issue. The last place, I was on the first floor, which living alone, that can be like a security concern. I felt safe enough there, but I do feel better now being higher up. I also have a much better view. My view is not of a parking lot anymore. I now have a view of like a wooded area that's really pretty right now with the fall time and all the colors of the leaves changing. And then also being higher up, I don't have bugs anymore. Not that I had in the last place, I would get bugs because I guess like I paid for pest control, but who knows if they actually sprayed for pests all the time. But I would get bugs because I would see like little cracks around the door and stuff, and it would just be like impossible to get rid of everything. And that's not an issue anymore. And it's an end unit, so I don't hear neighbors the way that I used to. So, all in all, I'm very happy with my decision, and in my next videos, you'll see me moving out of the old place and then moving in to the new place, and I'll give you a tour of everything. And yeah, I'm excited for the future. I think it's a good place to like regroup for the new year. I also, I'll explain it later, but I got a new job with a raise, so it kind of balances out with you know, the higher price of rent. I got a salary, so I'm not feeling the higher rent as much as I thought I would. So God has worked everything out, and I'm really excited for the future. My battery is about to die, so I'm gonna end things here. And thank you for watching. Like the video if you like, or yeah, leave a like if you like the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.